Welcome to Pyramid Times. Myself Veena Surbu, VP at Pyramid Times, and we have with us amazing guest Anuradha Deshikan Ishwar, also called as Radha Eswar. She is the founder of the Fractal Entrepreneurship Foundation. This foundation focuses on developing an online virtual incubator that caters to youth who cannot get incubated in regular incubators due to their unemployability. She is mentoring level social enterprise ventures that were incubated by her. And she was also a founder of Aarti Plants Nature Revitalization Private Limited, where they innovated on grammar for sustainable and affordable homes in India through a grant from Tata Trust. And she was also a director at BCIL, where she led team of 260 professionals on design and engineering. And then she was also a partner at Marga Bandhu Private Limited, where she conducted a lot of innovation events, workshops, and consultations. With this, I welcome Radha Ishwarma onto the Pyramid Times show.
Thank you. Thank you for your introduction. Honored to be here.
Yes. Today topic is going to be on fractal entrepreneurship. The word is coined by Radha Eswar madam. So what exactly is fractal entrepreneurship, madam?
Fractal entrepreneurship is a new kind of social entrepreneurship model that my husband and I have created. You see, in nature, it is the small design that gets repeated again and again to form big designs. There is nothing, that of such a big bulk that has not been built up with small designs. So that was the concept of which we built it, because we found that a lot of businesses are dying out very early because they will start with something huge and suddenly if there is a loss, it all just breaks down. So this model has been working wonderfully well and we are very happy to have invented it.
Generally, people say only 1% or the 4% businesses thrive in 3 years time and all. So how supportive or how expanding is this fractal model?
See, in a regular kind of entrepreneurship model, the proprietor is very important. If the proprietor fails, then the whole enterprise will fail. So that is avoided in this model. In this model, what we see is the idea. That is most important. The idea gets propagated because the design of the fractal, single fractal of business is so well done that people can take the blueprint of it and learn it, and they can also become entrepreneurs and repeat again and again. So many entrepreneurs you can create. So even if one or two entrepreneurs are failing somewhere, the rest of them are doing very well. That is the idea of this model.
Yeah, that is very beautiful. So is it applicable to the businesses that you do, or it can be applied to any new verticals as well?
I feel the model can be used anywhere, but in businesses, it makes a lot of sense because commerce is the backbone of any society. If you have a thriving commercial environment, then that society will do very well. Even governments are, upheld or protected and nurtured by business homes. So that's what has made me a businesswoman, because I felt, should I become an activist or should I become an entrepreneur? And I saw that as an entrepreneur, I was more powerful in bringing about changes in society. Then, yes, an activist is very, very important. They are the forerunners of whatever changes can happen in society. This is not to bring down their value in society, but an entrepreneur can do it slowly, bit by bit, and can change many things in society.
Yes. And why is it necessary, this particular model?
Uh, See, only 1%, like you said, of businesses thrive. But what about the rest 99 ideas that were created? They're all lost, isn't it, for society? Once and for all, they're lost. And only when you are an entrepreneur, you understand how much of effort goes into planning, into detailing, into creating that very, very successful model of enterprise. And if you are lost, then if the whole enterprise is lost, all that effort gets lost. So therefore, I feel that this model would be very beneficial in the social entrepreneurship space because so many good ideas are created. And if fractal ventures can be made out of each one of those ideas, then there is survival of goodness everywhere. And we need that. That is why I feel this model is very, very important.
Yeah, I do see there are a lot of areas of expertise of yours, like innovation, mentorship, incubation, leadership, sustainability,
Mhm.
alternate education, natural resources conservation, social entrepreneurship, and social natural capitalism. So, based on this, what are the entrepreneurial ventures that you have started on this model?
So basically, I am an incubator and an accelerator, and I accompany my entrepreneurs throughout that journey. I don't let go of my entrepreneurs once they become entrepreneurs. In fact, we all form a community. So the fractal becomes, every fractal attaches itself to other fractals, and we all have a common language that we speak, principles that we uphold. And if one initiative fails, the other initiative is there to help out. Like this, I have created some 12 initiatives. The ones that have really made it and gotten launched very well are Sampurna Ahara, which is a whole food plant-based diet initiative. Under that, there are many initiatives like sourdough breads, and then there is natural sweets, and we have interesting snacks made without oil. Sampurna Ahara itself is an initiative that is supplying whole food, plant-based tiffin meals twice a day. By this, it is helping to reverse diseases. If you have a disease, very soon you could be out of disease if you eat this meal along with, of course, exercises and proper therapies that you have to undergo. And for normal people, it brings back the best kind of health that you can have. Then you have Urban Mali Network, which is helping farmers who have migrated into cities become urban gardeners. And these gardeners set up beautiful native plant gardens, not just any garden, because you see the nurseries in Bangalore today are full of exotic plants. And these plants need a lot more care, and the biodiversity is not improved because of that. The insects and the birds don't come because these are foreign plants. But the moment you use our native plants, such gardens will be full of bees and birds and butterflies. It's amazing. So that kind of gardens is set up by Urban Mali Network. And then you have Farm Fresh Bangalore, which supplies groceries, fruits, and vegetables which don't have chemicals in them. They are made by farmers who are not particularly big farmers, marginal farmers to mid-sized farmers, and bringing about this poison-free vegetables directly from the farmers directly to the homes really helps people in the urban cities as well. And the innovation there has been, it has been designed by a doctor to be most nutritious. So the packages that a person gets, if it's a one family or a two-member family or three or whatever numbers, the initiative designs how much of vegetables and groceries and fruits is needed by that family. So there is no headache of thinking, what should I buy? Will I get it? What are the seasonal vegetables? What are the seasonal herbs? Where will I get organic or poison-free groceries? Everything is planned and taken care of by this initiative and delivered at the doorstep. So you see, in each of these initiatives, the beauty is that it has been thought out so well, innovated upon. We have a technique of innovation. We don't just say, okay, I'm an entrepreneur, I have this idea, now tomorrow I will start business. It is not like that. Everything is validated. That is, if you are a business person wanting to get incubated by our organization, we run the idea through an innovation process and get the best business idea possible after studying pain points of customers and after studying what are the best practices done by other lead users, as we call them. We consult experts, we do our own research, we study ethnographic study we conduct, whereby we really understand customers from the point of view of what they do in their daily lives. instead of simply, getting some survey forms filled and some yes or no answers. It's not done like that. And after all this, we beta test the idea. We get assured to ourselves, yes, this is indeed something very good. And then we move forward. And these are not taught in institutions per se. Somehow our system of education, which teaches people to just learn things, stuff their heads with information, doesn't prepare our youth to be smart on their feet, to be able to survive. If Indians like you and me, if we have learned to survive, I think a lot of it comes from living itself. How we live in our families, how we move around in our societies, or even in our schools and colleges, the way we interact with our teachers and the way we interact with our friends is a lot more powerful than the actual amount of knowledge that is, stuffed into our heads. How much of it do we actually use? So, if you went into studying how many Indians are employable today, 80% of graduates are unemployable. For the kind of work that globally is needed, we have not been trained to face these challenges. Most of what I have learned and I have been working on in these past years have been experiences that I have developed over the years of my life rather than by the crammed information that was put into my head. Seriously. So, this being the case, we almost do an unlearning process in our incubation. In all this cramming, a lot of youth and children are made to feel less worthy of themselves as well, with all this grading system and competition. And, we have so many different types of learners. Some of us are visual learners, some of us learn because of what we hear, some of us learn by doing. How can all of them be graded in the same way? Not possible. I homeschooled my children and I really understood that each child is special and each child is different. You can't imagine that one child will perform just like the other child, but each child is special. So we have to get the special thing out of everybody and not expect everybody to meet a special standard. That aspect I brought in my speech. Everybody is special. So we try and bring out the best in everybody. Whoever comes to us, sometimes they will come very hesitatingly and say, I'm not a great performer. I've not got a great marks. I don't have too many qualifications. All those people, we first focus on enabling them to feel worthy of themselves. We have special techniques. We teach them introspection, meditation, and we make them understand that they are part of this huge universal fabric. There is nobody who is less special when compared to another. Everybody is equally special. And the best has to be brought out. A lot of talking happens, and there is a lot of experimentation that happens by which every incubatee is made to discover for himself and herself the true potential that they have. After that, they are taught problem solving techniques. So now you're very confident of yourself, and then you're also given a tool by which you can solve any problem. Whatever problem you have, you can solve it. If you ask my incubatees, do you know a solution for a problem? They will first say, I don't know the solution, but I know how to find it. The importance of being able to say, I don't know, it's not a shameful thing, but it's a very proud thing to say, I don't know, but I will find out. But our society makes us feel bad if we don't know something. But here with my incubatees, those are one of the main lessons that they learn, and they learn quite a lot of other things. And they become very prepared to face the world, to face life. And every problem becomes a challenge, an interesting puzzle to solve. I have to prepare them, because already the other facet of fractal entrepreneurship is that they have to do what is earth friendly only. They cannot run a business by which they are adding to the carbon emissions of the world. every business of us that we have incubated is focused on ensuring that it is sustainable, that it is making people also become sustainable, change their mindsets, cross over to become people who bring about good changes in society. So this being the case, they are pitted against the world much more than normal business people, isn't it? You have to convince people to eat healthy food. You have to convince people that native plants are okay. You have to convince people that sometimes you can't eat, say, for example, you can't have a mango that is grown out of season. Okay, but in mainstream, whenever you want, whatever you can get if you pay monies for it, and it has been, cultured or hybridized or, grown in environments which is false, not true to the plant. These things are allowed, but in our system, it's not allowed. So they have an extra job of facing difficult clients and customers. So I have to really prepare my incubatees to be able to face all these challenges. They do it very beautifully. And that is possible because everything has a process. There is nothing, no difficulty in the world which can't be, tackled without a process. That's the beauty of the system.
That is very nice. The ventures you have started, it's like more than the need of our for this planet. And the way your incubatees are getting trained is very powerful. Indeed, it was also said that why Indians are hired to do any job because they don't know things, but end of the day they get it done somehow or the other. So we are known for doing jobs well, and definitely. And how this model will help the country like India?
See, 50% of the population is either very poor or it's not rich, middle class or a lower middle income group people. I have lived and I have traveled in some of the worst slums of our country. People like you and me, they can think and be like us, but they are in such poverty. This poverty has driven people to become slaves or become workers. When you reduce yourself to that mentality, the fabric of the country also is not great. You can't talk about yourself with pride. If India needs to talk about itself, it talks about itself in the area of culture, in the area of tradition, perhaps in the area of agriculture to a certain extent. But in the rest of the areas, we have to compete with so many other first contenders. This is because we have not allowed our children to stand on their feet and be able to express themselves with high self-confidence. And we have also not allowed them to learn in the ways that they want to learn. We have forced learning, and we have forced it in such a way that is not natural for them. So all these people, if you are going to go on making more engineers and professionals who don't have confidence, who will be saying yes sir to everybody, and becoming clerical kind of people, or even if they are professionals, they will take a few years to understand that they can be somebody known for the good things that they do. It takes a couple of, even for me, right when I came right out of college, it took me a couple of years to understand that I had a mind of my own and I could make decisions and I could choose the ways to go. It was such a difficult journey. You're just let out in the open and you have to swim your way across. Okay, but supposing aspects could be taught right in the beginning, from the beginning itself, decision making, thinking, trying to assess things, trying to innovate on things, trying to find smart ways of solving things, never being afraid of fear. Fear will come, but how not to be afraid of it is the trick. So these kind of things, I see some developed countries like say Finland or Netherlands, They are trying so many beautiful experiments where children are made to be decision makers from young age itself. So I'm hoping that this model of fractal entrepreneurship doesn't stop with just being a system for entrepreneurs, but I hope very soon somebody has the energy to take it and take it back to schools and back to young children as well. When that happens, the fabric of the citizens of this country would change, the quality would change. And when you, because I'm seeing that happen, if 100 people are out of poverty thanks to what, just a person like me and my husband have done, then if the country as a whole changes, think about it. It'll be fantastic. And that's our aim. That's what we hope someday we'll have.
Yes. So, do you have plans to implement it or expand it in a larger scale?
Oh,
Uh,
yes. See, all these years we have been doing face to face, one on one kind of incubation. But now we have slowly moved to doing remote incubation with people who are not in our system. This fractal entrepreneurship model, what it does is it combines the power of the people who have actually done well in academics and studied. And it also combines them with people who have not studied at all or who have studied to some extent. So now the other two groups of people who have not studied or who have studied to some extent, they are not taken on as workers. Even though they first join a fractal organization as employees, later they are encouraged after teaching them meditation, introspection, after enhancing their self-worth. Slowly over time, they are told that they are also entrepreneurs. Okay, and they will form a cooperative society, and the literate person forms the front of the organization, and slowly the amount of money that these other people earn goes up, and everybody will eventually end up earning similar kinds of monies. That is the dream of this model. It is still happening. The first three organizations that I told you, Urban Mali Network, Sampurna Hara, and Farm Fresh Bangalore, the struggles have been intense, because where will you see this kind of, where the literate person is agreeing to have people who joined as employees become colleagues and partners, it's unheard of. People only mock at us and laugh at us, but the amount of prosperity we are able to bring in, and the change that we are bringing in the minds of these people. Many poor people who come first, they have trust issues. We have had knife fights, blade fights, fist fights, abusive words getting flung across the workspace. And it's been a beautiful transition to see them learning to be professionals and coming on par, sitting in our seats, using our desks without standing with hands folded. Those changes are amazing. So in all our fractal entrepreneurs' homes, we call people as helpers, not as maids or servants. And they can sit anywhere. All our people can eat the food that we cook first. They are given the best food, and if there are leftovers, the visionary entrepreneurs or the guys who first start the enterprise, they eat leftovers. So they are made to clean toilets. That kind of forming a level ground and making people come up along with you, it creates a very strong bond. So whenever somebody is in difficulty, everybody pitches in to help. But of course, everybody shares with everybody as much of wealth and prosperity as possible. So this kind of community will only grow stronger. So our idea is to take all these concepts, put it in a virtual space, and incubate people. If I'm able to do 10 incubators at a go, I'm hoping that thousands would join in and they learn it by themselves. We are enabling such processes to happen very soon. We are hoping to get funded for this, and we are hoping that universities will invite us, and that they will request us to set up incubation centers of this model with their students. And that way I'm hoping to really spread it far and wide. And after this, I'm creating another virtual platform where all the entrepreneurs who are incubated by us do their day-to-day work. We are offering it as a platform as a service. You would have heard software as a service. We want to call it as a platform as a service. And they will conduct their businesses there. And thereby, they will be able to see each other's progress. If somebody wants to help somebody, they can help. If somebody wants to invest in another fractal enterprise, they can help. And there are so many learnings, all that can go up in our, mass database of things, and anybody can just dip in and learn things. Um, Wonderful theories exist. And we hope that every fractal venture is franchisable as a social franchise. And across the country, you can have Sampurna Hara in so many Sampurna Haras, so many urban Mali networks, so many of, this Alt Lab innovators, there is Building Resource Hub. And likewise, I'm hoping that many more enterprises would come up, and they will grow in a few minutes across the country. That's the hope.
That is very amazing. Are there any parameters to join this incubation or any conditions that you look for?
I don't have that. Deep passion is necessary, and there should be a person should be able to read, write, and do good math. They should be proficient in reading, writing, and doing good math, and should have deep interest to learn. This is all. If these things are there, then we can mold them, and then we can make them help 100 other people, maybe, or maybe thousands, we don't know. But there should be a deep passion to become an entrepreneur.
Yes.
I have seen that only 50% of people we take up have that capacity. 50%, I am not having the bandwidth to continue molding them into better people. It's not that they can't, but they need longer time and better environments. And as I am today, I'm not having the bandwidth to do that.
Yeah, that's nice. And what is the duration of this incubation, initial stages?
So if you are focusing only on incubation, it just takes 3 months time. If you are doing some part-time work and you want to do this incubation and hope eventually that you let go of your work and be an entrepreneur, then it might take 1 year. That's the longest.
Okay. So is it attending offline or it can be done virtual also?
Um, Today,
Online.
remotely we are doing over phone and mails, and we send lessons like that. But hopefully, very soon, if the government funds us, or if some universities give us grants, we are really asking around many people. We would put this up on the website, and people would be able to automatically learn for themselves and become entrepreneurs themselves.
That's very nice. And what is your vision for the next 5 years?
That's what this is, my setting up this virtual incubator and virtual platform for the fractal entrepreneurship groups. That's the single most dream. I get up in the morning and go to bed only with this. There are infinite numbers of things, details to it, the different courses, the different nuances to the courses, how to bring the self-worth up, whatever be the person, how to finally mold them into something very, very nice. That is the battle. And we have all the systems in place for that. And we hope to put it all up soon.
That is so awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, Radha Madam, for
God
your
bless.
wonderful insights and sharing. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Be blessed. Yeah. All of you, I think, should watch, subscribe, and share this link to Pyramid Times channel. I'm going to do that for myself because the nature of what they're doing seems so good and so interesting of working on spirituality as well as entrepreneurship. An interesting combination, which I understand because that is what I have done. God bless
Thank
all of
you.
you. Be blessed.
Thank you.